There's a story of a princess that was sheltered from the outside world. She never saw hurt, pain, poverty. She was just locked in her castle. And then one day she put on a hood and went through a side exit, and she saw all these things, and it was it ambushed her because she never experienced them. Well, I was the opposite. I saw all those things growing up because I had a young mom. So I was just thrusted into the world. They made me who I was, that New York grit. But there was such a sweet side of me. I've always I don't want to say I've always kind of thought I was a princess, but somewhere in my imagination, I've always had this castle with unobstructed views. Because growing up in New York, to have that unobstructed view, it's just priceless. I always knew that the hand of God was scooping me up, carrying me through life like a magic carpet or like a cloud. I always felt just completely surrounded, head, toe, every direction, covered by God. Marion is so tough and used to doing it on her own that she refuses to ask for help. And she's been taking care of her kid 46, 47 years by herself. But at 70-something years old, she needed it. She wasn't letting nobody in, so I was just oh, let me in 1 second, I have to use the restroom. And I really did have to use the restroom, so I wasn't fully lying, but it was an excuse to get in. And then I cleaned her bathroom, and that's where it all started, the real love, the real family. And she loved it. And then I let her finish. I was can you do the mirror? Can you do this? So it was and then it was we did it together. I was wow, look what a great job we did. Michelle always accepted me as an auntie, And I'm so great at it. So it's kind of me and Michelle were definitely meant to be together. We even went on vacation. We went to Atlantic City together. Me, Mary, Michelle, Anne, Helen, and my cousin Linda. We went to the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet, which is their favorite. We went swimming, and I made them get in the jacuzzi. It's nice and warm. And she never wanted to get in my car. She has a fear of getting in and out of cars. Now, if we're going anywhere, she's we're taking your car, right? And I'm of course. Michelle just grew wings and flew. I was out of state in Pennsylvania. And I was calling them frantically because they weren't answering the phone, which is abnormal. I called her every day, every other day. Then I knocked on their door. I banged on their door. The neighbor said, Marion's across the street in the hospital. And I ran over there and I said, what's going on? And they told me she came over. She was having some troubles. Marion and Michelle were in the hospital at the same time because Marion, she wasn't doing well. And then there was nobody around to take care of Michelle. So they had taken her to Elmhurst. And I had to go to each hospital to see them. I had to, with all my heart, I had to go see them every day. And I was well, what are you going to do with them, with Marion and Michelle? And is there anywhere that they can go together? And everybody tried so hard, all the social workers. And there was nothing except for in Florida, to send them both to Florida. And they don't have nobody there. They don't even have nobody here. So I couldn't do that to them. They didn't want to release her to me. I was what are you going to do with her? You're going to put her in the nursing home? See her, go check her vitals from when she was in the nursing home and check her vitals when she was with me and her weight. And then when they would talk to me, everything just came out. God gave me the answers. God was speaking for me through my mouth. I was just so confident and relentless. And I just fought so hard. So finally I got her out. I got her back home. And now I moved them into where I live. There would just happen to be an apartment opened up at the same time, fully renovated. Moved them into where I live. So now they're 5 feet away from me. Anything they need, I'm constantly with them all day. I wouldn't give it up for the world, and I wouldn't have them separated. I could have never walked away from them. It's extremely drastic, but being the aggressive person as I am, I don't think there's a better person for the job. I don't just love, I love going 90 miles an hour. And when I first met them, they needed help. And I ran to their aid, and I haven't stopped. I never took my foot off the gas pedal. When you go into anything, you have some sort of self-doubt because you don't have experience in that department. But where something so simple starts at and where it goes to, you can never imagine it from the first day to where it's going to be 8 years later. Like when you first get in a relationship with a boyfriend and girlfriend or something, it's so easy, I'm speaking for myself, to imagine all these things. You're like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, this is where we could be. But when you meet friends, you never really imagine how beautiful and how much love can blossom from it. And it's usually the friendships in your life are the wings that you need to keep you up in this world. It's so easy to see how great somebody else is, and you have to give yourself 90-mile-an-hour love. You're sacrificing whole parts of your life for other people. Whatever situation God has put you in, you're there for a specific reason. Nobody else. God picked you. And all the experiences in your life leading up to that moment, God has prepared you for that moment.
I've never met someone like Matthew. He was always smiling. I wish he could have met so many more people in his life, but I am so glad that I got to be one of them and that others like Phillipp got to know him.
I'm not a worshiper. There's something different about you. It's like, have you ever wrote a song? And he freezes up. Who told you? I was like, hey, I want you to stop calling yourself a worship leader and call yourself a psalmist like David.
Wow.
Because you write songs.
Wow.
And he looked at me and was like, why can't I be a worship leader? He wasn't like, I like the music. He liked the presence.
That's good.
That's what he enjoyed. The presence of God.
A meaningful memory would be going out and having lunch and talking about sports, our favorite TV shows. Phillipp telling me about his family, his wife, and his son. We talked about confidence, and even if people see me one way, that's not who I am. I'm who God says I am.
He loaned Matthew to me for 35 years, and how grateful I am, because I have memories. Matthew, my son, if I said ouch in the kitchen, he'd yell, you okay, mommy? Yes, honey, I'm fine. If I say my head hurts, he would come in the kitchen and he would lay hands and begin to pray. Wow. I'm telling you, God is God.
And Hosanna was one of his favorite worship songs, and in that song there's a line that says, break my heart for what breaks yours, everything I have for your kingdom's cause as I walk from earth into eternity. And I really think that's what Matthew did.
When you really sit there and think of all the people throughout history that had to meet all your ancestors, by a split second, if they had not met, you wouldn't be here. There's billions of situations where somebody could have missed the bus, but all those things leading up to your being here, and every single minute, second, day of your life has led you up to exactly who God needs you to be. You need to know that. You never know what you're supposed to do in this world unless you just go and do it.